You didn't do anything wrong. You were just born the right one. The easy one. The successful one. The one they smiled at without effort. And I was the other one. The one who had to earn it. I'm going to tell you something that's going to break you open and finally let you stop competing. Ready? This isn't about you. This is about what it does to a child when they realize they're not the chosen one. And here's what you don't know yet. You were 5 years old the first time. You counted how many times they said their name versus yours. And you've been keeping score ever since. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you will rewrite everything you thought you knew about why this wound never healed. It wasn't the big moments that destroyed you. It wasn't that they went to more of their games or praised their achievements louder. It was something so much quieter. It was the way their face lit up when your sibling walked in the room and stayed neutral when you. Did you notice everything, the way they bragged about your sibling to strangers? The way they defended your sibling's mistakes but punished yours harder? The way love felt automatic for them and conditional for you? You tried to figure out what they had that you didn't. Were they funnier, smarter, more talented, better behaved? And the answer was always the same. Nothing. They just existed in a way that felt effortless to love. And you existed in a way that felt like work. And here's what you'll never forget. Your parents didn't even see it. When you tried to tell them, they said you were imagining it, being dramatic, making it up. They loved you both the same, they said. But you weren't imagining the way they showed up differently. The way your siblings' failures were met with compassion and yours with disappointment. The way your sibling got second chances and you got consequences. The way you had to perform for affection they gave your sibling freely. You weren't competing with your sibling. You were competing for basic recognition that you existed. And the worst part, your sibling didn't even know. They moved through life not realizing the privileges they held, not noticing the difference in how you were both treated. And you couldn't even hate them for it, because it wasn't their fault, but it also wasn't yours. But the real damage wasn't what your parents did. The real damage was what you internalized from watching it. You learned that love is a limited resource, that if someone else is getting it, there's less available for you. That your worth is measured by comparison to someone else. You became hyper-aware of every difference. Their successes felt like your failures. Their wins felt like your losses. Their ease felt like evidence of your inadequacy. You didn't just compete with your sibling. You started competing with everyone in school, at work, in friendships, in relationships. You turned your entire life into a performance, trying to finally be the one who gets chosen first. And when you weren't, you made it mean you were the backup child. Again, you carried that wound into every room you entered. Close your eyes. You're 5 years old again. Can you see it? Can you feel what it felt like to realize they loved them more than me? Maybe it was a birthday where their gifts were bigger. Maybe it was a moment when your achievement was dismissed but theirs was celebrated. Maybe it was the way they looked at your sibling with pride and looked at you with tolerance. You learned early that being born isn't enough, that love has to be earned through achievement, that if you weren't the favorite, you had to become the best. So you started performing. You became the responsible one, the achiever, the one who never caused problems because causing problems would give them another reason not to choose you. You thought if you just accomplished enough, tried hard enough, became perfect enough, they'd finally see you the way they saw your sibling, but they didn't. You weren't fighting for love. You were fighting for evidence that you mattered as much. And that's when the truth revealed itself, not about your sibling, not even about your parents, about the wound you've been carrying, that whispered, if they loved me, they'd show it the same way. If I was good enough, I'd be the favorite too. Maybe I'll always be the backup child. You didn't create that wound. Your family just confirmed it every day. So here's the truth. You've been avoiding the one that's going to hurt more than anything I've said so far. You weren't afraid your sibling was better. You were afraid that no amount of being good enough would ever make you as effortlessly lovable. That's why you kept achieving. That's why you kept performing. That's why every success felt empty if they didn't witness it. Because accepting the truth would have meant facing something unbearable. You couldn't earn what they should have given freely. And that was never about your worth. And then, something broke. Not the relationship with your sibling. That was never really the problem. Something deeper. The story you'd been telling yourself since you were 5 years old. The one that said, if I achieve enough, they'll finally choose me first. That story, it finally died. The shift didn't happen when you stopped trying. Not when you accepted they'd never change. Not when you realized your sibling would always be the favorite. It happened when you asked yourself a question you'd been running from since childhood. Not, why wasn't I the favorite? But why did I spend my entire life trying to earn love that should have been unconditional? When you stopped performing for parents who weren't watching anyway. When you realized the person you needed to choose first wasn't them, it was you. You stopped competing the day you realized your sibling getting love didn't mean there was less for you. Your parents failing to love you equally was their failure, not yours. Here's what you learned when you finally let go. They didn't love your sibling more because your sibling was better. They loved them more easily because of their own limitations as parents. Some parents can only see one child clearly. Some parents project their hopes onto one and their fears onto the other. Some parents repeat the patterns from their own childhood without realizing it. Your sibling fit their capacity. You exceeded it. And that's not a flaw in you. That's a flaw in the system you were born into. You don't resent your sibling anymore. Not really. Because the anger dissolved the moment you realized they didn't steal your parents' love. Your parents just had limited love to give. And they gave it unequally. Here's the truth nobody tells you about being the unfavored child. It's not about what you lacked. It's about what your parents couldn't provide. And carrying that as evidence of your unworthiness was the real betrayal, not what they did to you. What you did to yourself because of it. You turned their failure into your identity. Made their inability to love you equally mean you were unlovable. Spent decades trying to prove to people who weren't watching that you deserved to be seen. Their favoritism was never a referendum on your worth. It was evidence of their emotional limitations. You're rebuilding now, not the relationship with your family that may never be equal, but your understanding of what happened. Someone who knows parental love isn't always fair. Being unfit doesn't mean being unworthy, and you will never again measure your value by someone else's chosen one. You are releasing the belief that you have to earn basic love. You are honoring the child who tried so hard to be seen. You are refusing to compete for scraps of attention. You are learning that your sibling's ease doesn't diminish your worth. And if your family can't love you the way they love them, that's their loss, not your inadequacy. Because you finally understand. Being the unfavored child doesn't make you less lovable. It makes you someone who learned to survive emotional scarcity. And that's a different kind of strength, so here's the final truth. The one you'll carry forward. You were never the backup child. You were just the child who needed more than they knew how to give. They didn't choose your sibling because your sibling was better. They chose your sibling because loving them was easier. And they took the easy path. And now you know, you don't need to be someone's favorite. You need to stop abandoning yourself to earn love from people who weren't capable of giving it fairly. If this landed in your chest, like it was written for you, drop a blue heart in the comments. And if you're still trying to earn your parents' equal love, I need you to hear this one more time. You were never the backup child. You were just the child who needed more than they knew how to give. Stop competing for love that should have been yours from the beginning. You don't need to be someone's favorite. You need to stop abandoning yourself to earn Love from people who weren't capable of giving it fairly. I'll see you in the next one.